You are now listening to the Friends of Rugby podcast. Relax your anus. Balls. Thick thighs. Camille Shat. Where's his neck? Eddie Jones. You're fucked, mate. We're nice now.
Welcome to the Friends podcast. I mean, the Friends of Rugby podcast.
Not your fucking friend.
I'm here with the quiz master,
Yeah.
notorious liar,
Jesus
Frank.
Christ.
Sorry, we just got into a fight here before we
did.
before we got into the news. Before we got into the podcast.
More rugby.
How you doing, Frank?
No, a bit of a bad week. Yeah. My boss quit.
So now you're the boss?
No, I wish.
Did you get a raise?
No, I just had to work more.
Oh,
Yeah.
like full time now.
Yeah. Well, no, I don't want to work
full-time hours.
full time. I'm not going to work full time, am I?
Yeah. Jeez.
No, I'm fine. How are you?
I'm really good.
Really good.
Yeah, really good.
Oh.
I haven't slept much this week.
I haven't slept much. I think it's
So,
the heat. Or
I've
it
been
was the heat.
Keeping like 5 hours, roughly around 5 hours a night.
Yeah, me too.
Still trucking along and just enjoying all this. I was telling you the other day, like this rugby, this Lions tour shit is fantastic for me.
You like it?
Every other day, there's like team announcements or a game and all this international rugby. There's just rugby. This is a busy rugby.
It's weird for me.
Calendar right
It's
now.
weird for me. It feels like there's too much rugby. Not in a bad way for watch. I just feel bad for the players.
Oh, yeah, I do. Well, you know what? Screw it. They get paid lots of money to play a game. I was starting to feel sorry
They
for
get paid a
these.
lot of money though compared to other
They get
professional
paid
sports people.
not-
relatively speaking.
And for how violent it is,
for,
too.
for a sport that will probably end your career at 26, like this is
Yeah.
not a lot of money for
and
me.
your body.
Yeah.
But at the same time, you get to do what you love.
Yeah.
You're playing a game,
Yeah.
and you're getting paid most of them in the hundreds of thousands of dollars.
Yeah.
That's a pretty sweet deal.
In isolation, it sounds great.
If I could make my
Yeah.
salary,
Yeah.
doing whatever I want to do,
Yeah.
that's a dream.
Mm.
It'd be pretty hard to feel sorry for me.
Yeah. I don't know.
It's not like these guys are poor.
Some of them are.
Some of them are
Some
poor.
of them are poor.
Yeah,
Yeah.
But the majority of them are making a decent wage
Yeah.
to play.
It's a bit like being siloed, though. It's like, you guys doing great. You're getting paid a lot of money. Just don't look at the football players. Just don't look, guys. Don't look,
Yeah, but you're still playing a game. Like it's like if you got paid your salary to just sit at home and play PlayStation all day. Like you ain't complaining about that.
No,
That's
I'm
a
sure
dream.
not one of them is complaining. Not one of them is complaining. But that I could get really serious about this and talk about the ongoing early onset dementia case that's currently happening. But that is a different thing.
That's always any kind of contact sport. That's like the CT. Is it called CTE?
Yeah.
Yeah. That's the risk that you take.
But
gotta
the
pay to
thing
play.
is, they didn't know that.
Yeah, but they do know that.
They
now.
do that now.
Yeah,
I think
they
they
do
know
know
that
that
now.
now.
I mean, the evidence is there.
Like
isn't
if
it?
you look and you have to be completely headed in the sand. I'm not saying athletes are the smartest people, anyways, but like you gotta like look around. Like everyone knows who Muhammad Ali is,
Yeah.
right? Like everyone knew who he was.
Any boxer ever.
Yeah, and you can see what happens to when you take damage to the head.
Yeah.
There's lots of examples of that throughout history. So yeah, they didn't know, but did they not really know?
I don't know. I don't want to get into that because there's serious legality there. All I'm saying is,
Like we're going to get sued.
no, we're not going to get sued. But if someone were listening and they're thinking, I've got early onset dementia because of rugby, and these guys are going, shut up, you get paid loads of money, I'd be pissed.
Well, there's people that got early onset dementia from playing rugby for fun. For free.
Maybe us.
Yeah, like you and I.
We don't know yet, do we?
Right?
We
And
don't
it's
know.
just-
I had a few concussions.
But we both know that that's a risk. You can become paralyzed
yeah.
playing rugby. You could die. You could die playing rugby.
Guy in my hometown broke his neck.
Yeah.
Maybe he was all right eventually, actually, but
But that's the risk. It's like it's like joining the army, going to war, and then being shocked that you got shot. Like, oh my God. No,
Yeah.
like no one told me this is going to happen. Like, come on, man.
Yeah.
Like, have you seen any sports ever? Like,
Yeah.
that's kind of how, like, you got to know the risks.
We digress anyway. Let's not go down that path. I don't think that's a fun thing to start with.
What do you want to talk about?
I think we should start with the Lions.
What do you want to talk about in the Lions?
Let's talk about the feeling. Tell me about the feeling, because that's how you started. I want to give you back the torch because you were having a good time.
You know what? I think if there was no COVID in 2022 and we had a normal South African tour,
Yeah.
I don't know how to gauge this because we went from New Zealand to an audience-less South African tour that was pretty low energy all around. So like I don't know if this is like I'm enjoying the shit out of it. But I really don't know if it's
Normal.
like, been a good tour because it's been so long. I get the hype around the New Zealand tour I think was stronger.
Yeah.
I think there's a looming gloom going over the Australian tour that the Australians are just going to get fucking destroyed.
Yeah. Yeah. I'll tell you something. I think maybe I'm well positioned to talk about this because the 2013 Australia tour was in my kind of golden years of enjoying rugby, not least because Wales were good and, we took a lot of guys with us, but Australia were good. The midweek team lost to the Brumbies. There was a lot of back and forth and the tour was competitive until the last game, which was a bit of a blowout.
Who won that tour?
Lions.
Yeah.
Right. But it was a 2-1 series. And both the first two tests came down to a kick at the end. One was Lee Halfpenny, one was Kurtley Beale.
Ooh.
It was great. It was a great tour. And like the midweek games were competitive and fun to watch, right? And like I said, at the time, personally, this is very subjective. I was just in a good rugby mood. I was loving rugby at the time, This tour, it's different for me because there's no fucking Welsh guys except Jack Morgan. And you are right. There's the Australia factor. We've been talking about it for almost a year. How we've even said, should we go to Australia as a Lions team? Because what's the point? Australia have since proved us wrong to a degree by showing that they're not a pushover, right? They have beaten big teams. They beat Argentina. They beat South Africa. I'm not wrong, am I? They beat them in the Rugby Championship one game. Anyway, they're not as bad as I thought they were going to be. So this tour is better than I thought it was going to be.
They definitely looked better when they went up north. In November.
Yeah.
When they went into those November tests, they looked really good.
Yeah.
I just don't. After what, I know watching the Super Rugby games.
Yeah.
Not a really good way to gauge. Maybe. I think those games really more expose the Lions than they are exposing the Wallabies.
Yeah.
It shows the cracks in their games, but the basis of their rugby is based on these Super Rugby teams.
Yeah, and they're not very good.
Their defenses are shit. They can attack.
Yeah.
These Aussies can attack. When they have the ball in hand, they can pass it around.
Yeah.
But the Lions defense is awesome.
Yeah.
And it just keeps getting better.
I do still think Australia will win a test.
I don't think so.
A lot of people are saying that.
And you know what happens in every I think it's what you're seeing in the Super Rugby games is the same thing you're going to see. I think in the Wallaby games, like they're going to be tight probably first half maybe.
Yeah.
And then when they start subbing, when they start having to go to the bench, and the best players in the Wallabies come off, and then even better players maybe come on for the Lions.
Yeah.
And I think you're just going to see.
There's no Robbie Valentini that's going to save you.
No.
When you've got all
there's
the
no
Curry
David
brothers.
Pocox. There's no fucking
Michael
Hoopers.
Yeah.
Like there's nothing.
Yeah.
There's no what's his name, Stephen Moore. Like there's like a lot of these like good players they had. They're like gone.
Well, they're gone all older. Yeah.
Yeah, and then the players they do have are still wearing the scars from Eddie Jones.
They are a little bit.
And the abuse that he gave them for like a year.
They are a little bit. I was wrong as well. They didn't beat South Africa. They beat England in the autumn, which was a good win. I'm actually looking at their results. Some of them are like, ooh, that's rough.
Yeah.
They lost 67-27 to Argentina in the
yeah,
autumn.
but I think the next week they won.
The week before they won.
Yeah. The week, yeah.
Yeah. Anyway, that's not as relevant as what you were saying.
But the Lions are complete now.
Yeah, they feel like a complete team. It didn't take them long to click, actually.
Well, they got their final piece of the puzzle. They brought him in.
Oh, that's what we're going to talk about.
Like that segue?
I did, actually. I'm not sure I'm upset about this as everyone else is, though.
I know, I wasn't at all.
No.
I wasn't everyone like that. I don't know if
We're talking about Owen Farrell.
we're talking about we're talking about Owen Farrell coming into the team. Like the coach has got to be allowed to have his one.
It's just egregious if it's your son.
Every coach like has to have like some kind of selfish like choice.
We all know he loves Matt Hansen more than Owen Farrell anyway. Matt Hansen was his one. Owen Farrell's just some guy as far as he's concerned.
And you know what? I think he waited. He brought him in at the right point.
Yeah.
Some injuries came in. He's like, you know what? I got to bring my son in.
Do you know what's funny to me is when I first read about this, I was a bit, there was a gut feeling which was like, no way, that's nepotism, that's awful. And the more I thought about it, the more I just was like, oh no, that makes a lot of sense actually, right? Because if we're talking about, and Andy Farrell said this best, people are like, you need fullbacks, not 12 10s. And he was like, I have fullbacks. And he does have fullbacks.
Yeah.
He's got two of the best fullbacks. He's got the two best. No, not two of the best fullbacks in Hugo Keenan, Blair Kinghorn. Mm-hmm. They haven't played yet, but they're going to.
Yeah.
Right? And now since they have, Blair Kinghorn has. And then losing Elliot Daly, you've lost your utility back. Yes, Owen Farrell doesn't cover fullback, but he's the only.
Hodge.
Yeah. That is a real big loss. But Owen Farrell is a very useful utility back because he covers. There's not another guy on there who can play.
10, he does
12, right?
But
that is a useful combination that they don't have other than that. And another thing is, people talk about experience. As a Welsh fan, I badly know you need experience on a team, and he is that guy. He is a real leader. So I'm not really that upset about this. I guess if you were upset, you would say there are a lot of other players who have played a lot of international rugby recently, are at the peak of their powers. Owen Farrell doesn't play in England, hasn't played an international game in a long time, hasn't played rugby in a while. So I understand that complaint. But you're not bringing him in because he's at the top of his game. You're bringing him because he's a leader,
Yeah. The thing about Owen Farrell too is like people were saying that he had a bad season at Racing 92.
Yeah.
But let's be honest.
Well, he just didn't play.
Look at all those fuckers that go to Racing 92.
Yeah.
And they get thrown out afterwards.
Yeah.
Like there's not a lot of players that have good times.
No,
at Racing
that
92.
is a club that chews you up. Khaleesi, Johnny Sexton, they just chew him up and spit him out, don't they?
Like they don't spend. They're there for a year or two.
Yeah.
And then they leave.
Yeah.
Like I just don't think Racing 92 has money. I don't think they have the atmosphere.
They're missing something.
I think their club culture is like. I would guess from what I see like off the media and stuff. I would assume that the Racing 92 like club culture is shit.
Yeah.
Just the whole mentality of it. It's all paychecks, money, and results, and there's no like that's. And I think players just don't like it because they come from like clubs that are clubs.
Yeah.
And everyone's like buddies, and they're just having fun, and they're playing rugby and enjoying life. And then Race 92's like, oh, fucking pay and you play.
Yeah.
Look at these charts I made. They're probably studying the performance charts.
Doing the Moneyball charts. Yeah. I feel like that about all the French clubs in the sense that they bring in big money signings to win championships.
Yeah.
Just like every professional sport does in Europe, right? But Racing 92 just don't win. Like Toulon and Toulouse and Bordeaux also do that.
Yeah.
They just happen to win as well. And they all including Racing, they have good culture. Look at the fucking crowds they get.
Or Dan Bigger, he loved playing in Toulon.
He did,
or maybe he loved living in Toulon.
Whatever.
It was
right?
one or the other.
Love it, right? Like Johnny Wilkinson was, a fan favorite at Toulon by the time he left, Like there's a lot of guys who've gone then been very successful.
There's something going on at Race 92.
They're just not as good, man. I think it's simple as that.
I don't know if they're not as good. I just think maybe their whole system is kind of toxic. And it's just not a place that's...
Are you trying to have a go at Stuart Lancaster?
No, I think because even him, like got chewed up.
You did.
Like there's just something going on there that makes it just not a fun place, good place. It's not probably like something's like choking them. It's probably a bunch of upper management bullshit.
Maybe.
I'm completely speculating, but from everything I've seen over like the last 10 years of this club, that's the conclusion I'm coming to.
Yeah. No, I agree.
Racing 92, you can reach out to us.
No, I kind of I know what you're saying. Maybe it's been in, if I want to go to France, I want to go to the south of France where all the cool clubs are, La Rochelle, Toulon. I want to go to Paris.
Yeah.
I mean, everyone loves Paris, obviously.
I would love to play in La Rochelle.
South of France on the beach.
Or, Marseille.
Yeah.
Fuck, Marseille is a cool place.
I do love the south of France.
Yeah.
And I don't like Paris, to be honest, because I got pickpocketed in Paris.
Did you?
I did. Yeah. That's the only bad thing that happened, but leaves a taste.
How did you get pickpocketed?
I was like 14. I was just an idiot. Yeah.
That can happen at 14.
Yeah.
Let's talk about the Warthog's game a little bit here. Because there's something like I said, so I said earlier that, these Super Rugby teams, their defense is shit. But you know what's helping them out? The Lions.
What do you mean?
They had 20 fucking handling errors.
Oh, I see.
Yeah.
Right.
There were so many times where the Lions got themselves into an opportunity for an offload.
Yeah.
And they just weren't even, you could tell the player was not even thinking of it in his head. And I'm like, if this was a Super Rugby player in that position, they would have offloaded that ball and scored a try.
Having said that, the big criticism against the Lions in the Argentina game was that they were trying to do too much. Many players were criticized directly by Andy Farrell for trying to offload.
Yeah,
he's probably told them, don't fucking offload.
They're rarely caught. These players, to be honest, these Northern Hemisphere players just don't have that skill set. They don't have that.
No, they don't.
Open field.
I want to argue with you, but it's true.
Skill set. It's just not ingrained. They play a more attritional style.
Mm-hmm.
They just grind you out, and they play territory ball really well.
Yeah.
And hopefully an opportunity comes, because it's just like when I was watching the game, it was getting kind of frustrating because there was so many. But you could see, yes, when they were playing Argentina, they were throwing the ball a lot more.
Yeah.
It almost cost them. Well, it did cost them. They lost, but
yeah.
And I think maybe Andy Farrell maybe reeled them in a little bit more. He's like, okay, guys, let's not go too crazy.
Well, he literally said that. He was literally like, don't stop doing offloads. But that's your point. Your point is correct, though. Like, they're not good at it. So why would you try it?
Which is a perfect opportunity for, because the Wallabies is a perfect opportunity for them to, if they could do this, they could pull this off, they would just destroy the Wallabies.
Yeah.
Because, man, that Southern Hemisphere defense is brutal. But the Northern Hemisphere attack is so fucking basic.
Yeah, it is.
Like, very fucking basic.
But it works, though.
It works.
It's working.
It works because of just pure power that they have.
That's why I think Australia will win a test, because whatever you want to say about Australia, they can do all of those things. Their attack is very good. Their attack could be better than the Lions on a day, So I think they'll win a test.
I wonder, what would really expose that when they have that Club World Cup club?
Yeah,
I think you'll really see, because those clubs from the Northern Hemisphere, they won't have a Lions bench.
No.
Right? So they won't have that pure power just to train wreck over you. And I think you'll see that they can't win these games attritionally. They have to pass the ball around.
There is something which is true about rugby, though. Forwards still do win the game. Right, you can offload all you want, but ultimately, a heavy forward pack wins you a game. A dominant scrum and a dominant line out wins you games.
Because if you're getting fucked in I guess unless you're the All Blacks,
but they have never not
I've
had.
I've seen plenty of games where they're getting cooked. In both sections. Yeah, and they still won by 30 points.
But I've never. Yes, they can go backwards.
Their backs can score tries,
but even in those games where they're being dominated in the scrum, they're not being dominated that much. They still have almost... I've never seen them get absolutely trounced physically. I've seen them get beat up physically, but not totally overwhelmed.
Yeah, I can only name a handful of times that's happened.
We talk about that a lot. That's the one myth about the All Blacks, which isn't true. They do have a good scrum and a good line out.
They always have.
They always have. There's no part of the game which is
all the
weak.
basics, they always have. Yeah. It's either decent or super good.
Yeah, yeah. And even on the bad days,
there's never anything bad about them.
Yeah, no, I agree. But yeah,
the thing is saving the Lions in this tour is they have a rock solid defense, so they will be able to handle whatever the Wallabies throw at them.
Yeah,
but it's also this game, man. Did you watch the game at all?
The Waratahs one, I watched about 30 minutes of it.
The fucking commentators are brutal.
I didn't know.
They hate rugby.
Oh,
they fucking hate rugby.
Tell me more.
I should have wrote down what they were saying, but it was just some of the comments they were making about, especially the refereeing.
Yeah.
The style of play they were mocking and judging. The TMO, they fucking hate the TMO. They hate the TMO down south.
Yeah.
Because they can't get away with bullshit.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, no, I don't agree with that. No, you're right. Let's segue into.
Well, I also wanted to talk about the ref.
Oh, I was going to talk about. Okay, it was kind of the same thing, but you go.
Yeah, what were you going to mention?
I was going to talk about asking all these post-match interview guys as well.
Oh, about the whole.
But you know what? Let's stick to the reffing first.
Yeah, it was just like, I'm listening to the refs and they're just bashing the game, and I'm like, what are you guys doing?
Well, they don't like scrums.
They don't like fucking rugby. Like these guys. Why did you get guys that don't like rugby commentating the game? If you're just gonna sit there and complain about it, like your job is supposed to like hype up the game.
Yeah.
And so I'm sitting there and I'm getting frustrated. I'm like, what the fuck are you guys doing?
There is a little bit of projection going on generally, I feel, in Australia, where it's like there's a sense that their media knows they're going to lose the tour. So it's almost like, I knew I was going to lose anyway, so I don't care.
Yeah.
There's that feeling of, I'm taking my ball home. There's
too many factors in the game now to even have a fair game anymore. Like what? Why aren't the Lions struggling?
Yeah.
Why isn't the TMO collapsing the Lions?
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
Like it's just like they're getting fucking TMO just as much.
Yeah, no, I agree.
And it was just like, what do you guys are hired to promote the game, not knock it off. If you don't, there was like the commentator shit was like really pissing me off. But yeah, you go on with your interview stuff, how they keep asking them.
Well, I was going to say a little bit more about the commentator stuff, because even Jonathan Davis, right? Jiffy, the old Jonathan Davis, people give him a lot of shit for his biased or annoying commentary in the Six Nations. And it is true, he can be annoying. But he fucking loves rugby. And he is one of the guys who went to rugby league and then came back. He's still a rugby union cheerleader. The problem in Australia, I was watching an interview with Michael Checker the other day, and he's talking about how in England the quality of the product is very good, but it's weird how it doesn't have the same status as something like NRL does in Australia. Because Aussie rules and NRL in Australia are fucking massive. Right? And we can talk about how we don't like rugby league all we like, but there's another whole sport which packs out stadiums and is very entertaining in Aussie rules, right?
My conspiracy hat on why NRL, like rugby league, is so popular.
Yeah.
Is because they were just fucking tired of losing to the All Blacks. That's why everyone just watches league.
Yeah.
They're just tired of fucking always losing to the All Blacks.
There's probably some degree
of truth to that. And so there's like,
that.
fuck it, you know what? We'll watch league. And they win in league.
Yeah.
And they're the dominant country when it comes to league shit.
Oh, yeah.
So
big time.
So that's why they just kind of lash on like, oh, yeah, this game is way better.
There's definitely a class thing as well. I think Australia is one of those countries where rugby union, like England is, and to be honest, like Scotland and Ireland are, where it's a kind of a posh kid sport. It's less true. But there's still a lot of kids who go to private school and go into rugby union, right? Still a lot of them.
Rugby union is its own worst enemy. The people at the top that are supposed to make the decisions for the game are always making the wrong decision.
They still are.
They're usually trying to make it more like they're usually trying to copy or make it more like league.
Yeah.
Which is like, we have our own game. There's a reason why union is still worldwide way more popular than league.
Yeah, it is.
Leaps and bounds.
Yeah, it is, yeah.
So I don't know.
It's almost strange that though.
Yeah, so I don't know why they're so horny to copy the NRL, because it's popular in like one country. Like, it sells out stadiums in one fucking country.
Yeah.
Like, who cares?
I think to play devil's advocate, because I mostly agree with you, but if I was an American and you were having a go at NFL or even basketball, you would say, oh, it's only popular in America. Yeah, but it doesn't need to be popular anywhere else. This is still one of the biggest sports.
That's
like
a good
Australia,
point.
It doesn't need to go anywhere else, right?
No.
Look at the crowds they get for both Aussie rules and NRL, right? And they are very happy beating New Zealand internationally at league every now and again, and beating England every now and again, right? Like, so they don't. That's what I'm getting from these commentators, is an undercurrent of this could be better. And I agree with that. I agree the spectacle of union could be improved, but it's not improved by taking the scrum out.
No.
It's not. It's improved by being consistent with the rules for a few fucking years. If you're going to change rules, leave it the fuck alone for a bit, right? Let it bake in the oven. We keep opening the oven to check if it's done or not and poking it, and then wondering why it's a flat cake in this analogy.
I think the problem, like, with it too, with rugby union, is not the game itself. It's everything around the game.
Yeah, it is.
Like, the real problems are outside of the game.
Yeah, they are.
Right? That's where the real problems in union are. Like, the lack of just product. The lack of... There's just a lack of a lot of things outside of the game that they could be improving to make the experience and make it more of a spectacle. And they just keep trying to fuck with the game. And I'm like, no, the problem with everything is outside of the players playing.
Yeah, it is.
The players are fine. The players are playing a great game. The players are doing good.
Yeah.
Everyone else is fucking up. You're fucking up with the money in the background.
Yeah.
You're fucking up with the social media.
The rules changes all the bloody time.
You're fucking up with like not putting any kind of like with all the media stuff. There's just not enough of it, or it's like fucking like you got two ancient fucks like talking about how it was in like 1956. Like it's just it sucks.
It does suck.
Yeah.
Yeah, it does.
It's not the scrum.
No, we know that. We know that.
But what else were you gonna say about the interviews?
I don't want to now.
Why?
I mean, I don't want to because I haven't really got anything interesting to say. It's kind of like the Owen Farrell situation, but let's talk about it. We said we would. So a lot of people have been whining about every time Matt Canton or Tui Pilotta are on the screen, they're like, "Oh, you're Australian, ha 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 ha."
All these
Isn't
games,
that funny?
All these games in the South. I watched all the games in the Southern Hemisphere. All the commentators kept making reference to every player that was born outside the team that they were playing against.
Yeah, I'm in two minds about it.
I think it's just good banter.
Yes, a part of me, 90% of me feels that, but there is a 10% of like, you know, when someone's being a dickhead, and they're like, "Oh, I was only joking.
Frank,
I was only joking," and it's like, well, yeah, but you're still being a dickhead. I get that sense from them a bit. It's like whenever people throw it back in their face, they go, "Oh, we were just joking. It's just banter," you know. So there's a little bit of, it's just both. This happens every Lions tour, and I think particularly with the Australians, there's a definite UK and Ireland and Australia rivalry, which Australia seem to care about more than Irish and British people do. We don't think about them as much as they think about us. In my humble opinion, right? However, this whole thing about they're Australian, I'm fine with that. It is banter. It totally is banter. But when someone complains about it a bit, the Australian reaction to the complaint seems blown out of proportion. The interviews themselves, Tui Pilotta is clearly having fun with it, and so are the interviewers. They're just having a laugh, right? And if we were complaining about people born in different countries, the whole game of rugby union is fucked, isn't it? Let's be real. Let's be real, because you know, Australia, New Zealand, every country, actually, with the exception of maybe
Argentina and
South Africa and Argentina, haven't got a leg to stand on, have they?
They would be the two best. They would literally be. It'd be the if you could only play where you were born.
Yeah.
Argentina and South Africa would be in the finals of the World Cup every year.
Yeah, yeah. Guess where Sergio Parise was born, the famous Italian?
Argentina.
Right?
Yeah.
So they're exporting guys, you know? Anyway, so long story short, I don't care about this. There are rules. We followed them in terms of eligibility, same as Australia did.
These are also countries like England, Ireland, Scotland,
Wales,
France.
Yeah.
These are countries where people move to.
Yeah.
Like these are like Canada.
They're
United
large,
States.
well-populated, good economy countries. People want to live there, you know.
People come here because they want to live and like work here. And, like that's just how we are.
This is the modern world.
Yeah.
You want to move to another country? That's fine. Do what you want.
New Zealand is like tucked away in the corner of the world, like far away from everyone.
But still a nice country that you want to live in.
Yeah, it's a nice country you want to live in.
Which you did.
But it's like far away. Yeah, I lived there for 2 years.
Yeah.
But it's like far. It's far.
Yeah.
It's far. The only thing it's close to is Australia.
That's kind of what I'm getting at. I do get the sense sometimes that Australia and New Zealand feel left out of not just the sport conversation, but the global conversation.
Yeah.
Because they're doing fine. Great countries.
I don't think Australians really, like the commentators have been really bad about this.
Yeah.
But like the Aussies know they got a lot of foreign-born players in their mix.
Of course they know.
I don't think they complain about. They're not so defensive about it as the Kiwis are.
Is that true?
Yeah, the Kiwis get way more defensive over it.
Yeah,
I bet you anything. It's All Blacks fans all over the fucking comment sections
with an Aussie jersey on.
Yeah, just
and a fake mustache.
Yeah.
I don't know. All my message is, my opinion is, I agree. It's just a bit of banter, isn't it? You know, it gets blown out of proportion.
It's fun.
It is a bit fun.
It's like how people get upset if you don't like stay quiet for the kicker.
Yeah.
You know,
I've changed my tune on that though.
Yeah.
I used to be one of the purists, like, don't respect the kicker, and now I'm like, no, fuck it, yell.
Yeah.
Do
what you want.
Throw your poop at them. I don't care.
Do what you want.
Yeah. I paid, in the case of Harlequins versus Exeter, £75 for a ticket. I'm doing whatever I want to the kicker.
Yeah. Danny.
Yeah.
Danny care.
Yeah.
We went to the last game. It was pretty good.
It was pretty good.
A lot of other rugby happened this weekend.
Yeah.
A lot of rugby.
This is the bit. This is the bit I was scared of.
Let's talk about Wales, Japan.
No, let's fucking not.
Let's talk about Wales,
Move
Japan.
swiftly
So can
on.
we make an argument? We need to start. I think we need to have a serious conversation about
we don't.
replacing Wales and the Six Nations with Japan.
Fine. Next question.
Banter.
Fine.
Wait, I have like
Genuinely, fine.
I have a whole page of notes.
Okay, all right. I'll let you lead because my opinion on this game: 2 shit teams played a shit game of rugby.
So I watched this game from the second half on.
Yeah.
So I almost didn't watch it because I was for sure that Wales were going to win this game. And when I saw the score when I was going into the game, I was like, should I watch this? I was like, fuck it, I'm going to watch it.
James Hook agreed with you on Twitter. He was like, I think Wales have got this.
yeah.
I did a bit as well. I was like, I'm probably going to win.
There was, first of all, that second half, Wales did not want to be there. Those players looked fucking
If I'm going to say
knackered.
anything in their defense, it's that it looked miserable.
They were like...
It looked miserable.
Well, they have to have those,
hot,
you know,
sweaty.
When you're having water breaks like that, you have to stop because it's just so hot and sweaty.
Yeah.
Because I've been in Japan and you lived there.
I lived there 2
and
years.
You know
yeah.
how gross and hot it gets.
I played a game of Ultimate Frisbee and I nearly died. It was 100% humidity. It was 40 degrees. No, it wasn't 40. It was like 38. And I nearly died. So I can't imagine. I mean, they're professional athletes and they've done condition training, but 80 minutes of international rugby in those conditions is dangerous. You know? So
I was kind of, when I was watching the game, I was looking at, you know how Eddie Jones is big into that positionless rugby? He wants to play a more chaos game where players are kind of
more
looking for
unstructured
opportunities.
pods.
Yeah. And as I was watching this game, I was like, man, this is just not how the Japanese roll. They're he's trying to put an unstructured system into a structured society of people. But man, they just kept growing and growing and growing into that game.
They just played the conditions, didn't they?
Their attack is amazing. Their ball handling, they do make a lot of they do make a lot of handling errors.
They made a lot of handling errors.
But
in that
they
game.
take some big risks.
Yeah.
They play the ball. They play the ball and they're so quick.
Yeah.
They're so fast. And that speed and tempo, and you can see they were picking it up. Wales was starting to slow down.
They were,
they were trying. They were about the 60th minute. Wales were literally just trying to survive the match. They were not even trying to survive the rugby game. They were trying to survive just living
life. I was just going to say that. Yeah, fuck the rugby game. Let's not get heat stroke. Right? Yeah, no, I agree. The thing about Japan is, I had a feeling we would lose this because I know whatever Japanese team you put out, if your defense isn't good enough, they will have some fit guys who are fast, who are used to living in hot, humid conditions. They'll just run through you as soon as you get tired, and that's kind of what happened.
They were, you could tell, Wales started making some really odd and bad. Their decision making went out the window too.
I don't think we had decision making from the get go.
Because I was like, "Where's the?"
There was no clue. There were so many opportunities in that game to take a penalty instead of go for the corner. Why didn't we take him? Because Costello was having a bad game. Kieran Hardy was having a bad game. If you're 9 and 10, aren't having a good game, and they're the guys who are supposed to be directing traffic, you're not going to win a game of rugby, you know?
Yeah, I just don't think Costello is the steward that they need.
It's sad in a way.
But at the same time, there's no one else.
No, there is someone else. Who's else.
Who is this?
I'll let you guess, but I'm going to talk about Sam Costello while you think about it.
Gareth
I mean, he's also an option, actually. Why not? Ospreys 10. Dan Edwards.
Oh, Dan Edwards. Yes.
Why are we not playing him? And I'm going to tell you why. Because this was a game I was excited for Sam Costello to come back into because, he's not the guy we needed for a long time, but I've seen him play incredible rugby sometimes.
He's a good club. He's a good club.
That's the sad truth.
But he's not the leader, the captain. He's not the He's not the director that Wales need.
Yeah.
Right? Look at Dan Bigger.
Yeah.
Right? They miss the shit out of someone
We miss a guy in every position, except maybe hooker. Dewi Lake is very good. Jack Morgan is very good. That's another reason we lost. All these players we lost to the fucking Lions. All these guys. Depleted squad. Yeah, I'm only
You
joking.
hid him from me. I didn't know how good he was.
I
saw
don't know
him
why.
play-
When you text me, he's like, "Why didn't you tell me about Thomas Williams?" I'm like, "What the fuck are you talking
He
about?"
was so. I was watching him. I was like, wow, because he was playing a good team. Fuck, he was electric.
Have you not seen the
He
Gloucester
was like
highlights of the
fucking
season?
Aaron Smith, like
He's a very good 9.
yeah, fuck, he's amazing.
Yeah, I'm surprised.
What a
you
loss.
say.
But anyways, yeah.
not relevant to this because we fucking. No, it is relevant because we missed him. It is relevant. I don't know. I genuinely. I feel bad for a lot of those players. I like a lot of those players. I even like Sam Costello, but you are right. He's a club player. He's not good enough for international rugby. I'm going to repeat something a lot of other people have said. People who are a lot smarter than me at this. Squidge mentioned this and Sam Warburton also mentioned this. The problem with Wales right now is we're so desperate for a win. We put the team out that we think is the best player in that position. But someone like Squidge or Warburton have said, you should be putting out guys who have a higher ceiling. So Dan Edwards has a higher ceiling than Costello, but has less international experience. If he has a bad game, you know eventually he will be a better player.
Yes.
Right? And there's so many positions where that's true, but we needed to do that 18 months ago. Right? It's already too late. You know
what player they're doing that with right now? Not Wales, but like Prendergast. Constantly putting him in positions.
Yeah.
Right? To figure him out.
I
right?
actually really agree with that because his ceiling is very high.
Yes.
I actually very much agree with that. Yeah.
Like
yeah.
with Costello, you know where his ceiling's at.
Yeah.
Like we know how
He's been tested, hasn't he?
He has been tested.
Yeah.
Right? Just like and he's at the age now, like what is he, like 27?
He's not, but he's old enough.
Yeah,
right?
he's
Whereas
old enough.
Prendergast still has real.
And Prendergast is 20.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
So like he's got time to like, you know, but we're gonna eventually we will see enough where we're like, yeah, Prendergast, this is how far he's gonna go.
Yeah. Costello's 24, but point still stands. He still had enough opportunities, I think, you know.
So like
and Ben Thomas has a high ceiling as a 12. Gatlin was playing him as a 10. He's not got a high ceiling as a 10. He's a good 10, but he's an international quality 12, right?
And what a perfect time to experiment in Japan.
Yeah.
This was supposed to be
But
your
that's
vacation.
the point. That's the point.
This
It's
is-
too late because when you are this desperate for a win, there's no talk of ayahuasca trips to South
Like
America
they don't
anymore.
even have a full-time coach. He's just stepping in. He's just hanging out.
Yeah, that's the other thing. If you look at that coaching team, it's very good. I still do like Matt Sherratt. He's in a horrible.
I do too.
He's in a horrible position. He's got Danny Wilson with him, the guy who has coached at Scotland, Glasgow, Harlequins, and Cardiff. This guy's a very good coach. They've got Adam Jones, one of the best tight head props ever.
And he's always got chocolate with him.
He's always got a bar of chocolate for the boys, but it was too hot for chocolate. It melted in his pockets.
Adam Jones must have been a fucking
Yeah.
big fucking
Can you
sweaty
imagine?
mess. He just got like fucking
Yeah.
sweat and chocolate all over his hands.
You know those guys when their eyelids sweat, they're that hot?
yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, like
You got Lee Halfpenny
he
on the
must
tour.
hate Japan. I bet you anything Adam Jones hates Japan.
When I was in Japan, there are no fat people.
No.
There are no
And you're
fat
just walking like a sweaty mess. Like,
Yeah,
ugh.
yeah, you do not survive in that
I
weather.
would
So anyway, I want to say this because this is the thing I am actually passionate about. Any criticism I give to the players is not coming from as harsh a place as the criticism I have for the WRU. This is all their fault. Why have we not got a head coach? It's been how long? Why are we still talking about how much money we should be paying the regions? If any of these guys had job security, I imagine their performance
I
would have
think this
improved.
goes with what I said earlier. The problems with the game is outside the game.
And I didn't want to make it a Wales conversation at that point, but that was going through my head. When we talk about rugby, it's not what's going on the field, it's the wider picture.
Yeah.
Wales is the best example of that. We are in free fall, right? We are historically one of the best teams in the world. Our culture is very rugby based, and our structure's falling apart, not so much because the players, but because the management around it is utterly
yeah,
incompetent.
the players are doing what they can.
They are doing that. And that's why I don't want to criticize Sam Costello. He's a fine rugby player. He shouldn't have been on that field, right? Poor guy, you know?
Talk about Japan though.
Yeah, fair play.
Good on Japan.
Good. You know what? Good point. Thank you for bringing it back to the magnanimous shit because the respectful shit.
Yeah.
Because no, genuinely they deserve credit.
It
right?
is man, I don't know how many times I say it. It's a crime that they're not in the rugby championship. It's a fucking highway crime. It's a bank robbery.
Imagine how good they would be
Oh my god.
because they would have crushed Wales had they been in
Yes.
the rugby championship for a few
They
years.
need oh man, and like I said, we go back to the same thing again. The problems of rugby are outside of rugby.
Yeah.
Like why isn't Japan in the fucking rugby championship?
Yeah,
There was talks of them joining the Six Nations at one point.
that's ridiculous.
That's crazy.
Yeah.
It's crazy.
It's ridiculous.
This game triggered me too. In the second half, like at the beginning of the second half, it was like there was a bunch of handling errors, and it was going scrum line out, scrum line out, scrum line out, scrum line out, and then the commentator said something, and I wanted to like fucking put my fists through the TV.
Yeah.
He's like, yeah, it's not a lot of rugby being played at the moment.
There is. It's just scrums.
I'm like,
and
that's
lineouts.
fucking rugby.
Yeah. Yeah.
I fucking got so mad. I'm like, these motherfuckers, these like Southern Hemisphere fucking commentators.
Yeah.
I was like, I got so triggered. I was just like, wow. I was watching it by myself, which is worse. So I have no one there to like fucking bitch to. I was like, when he said that, I was like, that guy should be fired.
Yeah. Yeah.
Like,
Was he Australian?
yeah, I think he was, or he was a Southern Hemisphere guy. I can't tell the difference between the accents anymore.
Yeah.
But I was just so fucking triggered by that. I was like, that is rugby.
Do you know one of the worst things about that happening? The worse the game is in terms of quality handling, the more scrums and lineouts there's going to be, right? So rugby has a real drop off a cliff in terms of watchability for a neutral if the team is bad. So Japan and Wales had a responsibility to play well.
Yes.
So that the neutrals would go, this isn't boring. Because let's be real, if there's a lot of scrums and lineouts, someone who doesn't know anything about rugby is sitting there going, this is boring. I understand that. We have a problem in rugby where...
I didn't know what was going on when I first started, and I loved it.
You might be the exception to the rule, though. Do you know what I mean? Generally speaking, if I'm new to the game and I'm watching a lot of scrums and lineouts and a lot of people dropping the balls, I'm going, this looks like no one knows what they're doing.
It used to drive me crazy when they would get the ball and they would kick it out of their own half. I'm like, what are they doing? Why are they kicking the ball away?
Yeah.
That blew my mind when they would kick the ball into to keep the ball out of their own half.
Yeah.
I couldn't wrap my head around why a team would just let go of the ball because I'm so used to watching football.
Yeah.
Like NFL and CFL.
Like, why
when
would you
have
give
the ball,
them the other
you
team
wouldn't just
the ball?
Yeah, you wouldn't give the other team the
in
ball.
any sport. This might be the only sport where you give the other team the ball deliberately.
Yeah.
So that's another thing for me. It's like I know someone is a real rugby not fan but understander when they know that because I've even sat there with people from Wales who played a lot of rugby and watched a lot of rugby, sat in a pub with them, and they go, "We're kicking the ball away too much." And like, you don't understand rugby. You just don't you're not a rugby. You're a rugby fan, no doubt. You're not a rugby understander.
Yeah,
right.
Because like I know other people I've watched that haven't watched rugby before too. They'll make that same comment
immediately
when they see them kicking the ball away.
It's instinctive, isn't it? It's like, what the fuck are you doing?
Why would they do that?
Yeah.
Like, I don't understand why they're doing that. Like, why are they kicking the ball away from giving it back to the team?
It's like that Brad Pitt film Moneyball. If you understand rugby, you understand the film Moneyball. It's about percentages. You just don't play rugby in your 22. You just don't play rugby in your 22. It's not a thing you do, right?
Don't do it.
No, but people don't understand that. And even when you're between the 22 and the halfway, and South Africa were very good at this, they'll kick the high box kick and compete for it. People doing, what are they doing? It's like, they have won 2 World Cups doing that, guys. Like, they kind of know what they're doing, right?
Also, kickers are so good now, they could slot from anywhere.
Yeah.
You almost can't even play rugby in your at half.
No, they don't. Ireland and South Africa don't do it.
No.
And guess who's very good at rugby, right?
South Africa.
And Ireland, right? Yeah. So if you're a rugby understander, you don't complain about that. And yeah, that's the strange dichotomy here. If I'm a new person to rugby, instinctively I know that kicking looks weird. Instinctively I know if there's a lot of scrums, the game looks scrappy and boring. But so there is a hurdle to overcome. Rugby is an acquired taste, is what I'm saying. Rugby is trying to feed olives to your children so that they eventually like olives. You know, there is a hurdle to liking this sport.
Another thing I'm thinking about is like, if Japan win this series, like, where do they go from here? Like, there has to be something that has to happen. I think Japan are going to win the next game.
I do too.
After watching that,
I definitely do. Yeah.
And the conditions and how Wales are just I can't see them winning another game.
No, and I think had Wales won this, whoever won this game needed the confidence boost. Japan have that. That's all they need to win the next game is that confidence, right? Having said that, Wales aren't a scalp that is worthy enough to make Japan join some kind of competition.
I think it's super worthy. I think that's a team with a lot of history and coming to Japan.
History isn't the same as being good, though. We are not a good rugby team right now.
Yeah, like it's just didn't you?
We have done nothing since me and you've been recording this podcast. 18 months.
There's been some good games.
Not enough.
Close games.
No, it doesn't matter though, does it? You know as well as I do that is irrelevant. That it doesn't matter. We haven't won a game in it. Like Japan beating us is great for them, but it doesn't mean they get access to the rugby championship on that basis.
I think when you're good enough to beat the Welsh team, even though they are bad.
They're really bad though.
They're right now.
They look like a club side.
They're like the jobber wrestler right now. Like when they're starting to bring up a new star, they have the jobber guy that comes in and he wrestles him and shows if this guy's good enough to be in the big league.
I wish we were a first boss.
We
were a first boss.
You guys
We're
are
not.
the first boss.
We're not a first boss.
Yeah,
we're
are.
a first hench with a tutorial. With that, this is how you play the game, guy.
Who's the first boss then?
That's a good question. I think Italy are first boss right now.
Oh my God, no way.
Yeah.
No.
Yeah.
Italy's the guys.
If Italy
Italy's
played
the
Japan
guys
tomorrow,
in the streets that you have to beat up, the minions that keep coming at you.
that is statistically not true. If Japan beat Italy right now, this would be a different story.
I think Japan would beat Italy right now.
Maybe,
Yeah.
but Italy would beat Wales right now, is my point. Wouldn't they? They did.
All that matters is Eddie Jones is getting the last laugh.
Oh, fuck. I know. That's the bit that hurts the most, is Eddie Jones' shit-eating grin.
Other news, France and New Zealand. Holy shit.
Oh, this is also controversial for me.
This is a controversial game all around.
I'm going to have to say it straight away. The ref.
Yeah.
The ref.
Fuck, there were some fucking brutal missed calls, brutal calls.
Yeah.
And you could tell that like the commentators in this game were really getting pissed off at the TMO.
Yeah.
Who
stepped in a lot, by the way.
Yeah, and they hate the TMO.
Yeah.
But like, fuck, man, you have to TMO the shit out of the All Blacks.
Yeah, you do.
Like, fuck, man. Like
they play so fast, but they get away with a lot.
Yeah, they're always trying to take an edge on every single opportunity.
Right, and good for them.
Yep.
But you have to referee it, right?
Yeah, you got to referee.
You got to referee the rules.
Like especially the mauls.
Yeah.
Like the All Blacks will just straight. It's worth taking the risk.
Yeah.
They'll just straight collapse it.
Yeah, I think they probably saved 2 tries doing that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like in the Maori All Blacks versus Scotland.
Yeah.
Like they were doing the same thing. Like the one guy was on his hands and knees crawling in the bottom of the fucking maul.
Yeah.
And like trying to push forward on his hands and knees, collapses it. Like that should be a penalty try.
Yeah. Yeah. I wanted.
You look so defeated.
I am, because
like the wind just got taken out of you.
I am a bit. I don't want to be disrespectful to New Zealand, because they are a really, really fucking good rugby team, right?
Do you know how many players on that France team played in the Six Nations?
4?
2.
2.
The last game France played, only 2 players were on that team. Like all these other guys were fucking like just.
Put it this way, if I was New Zealand, I'd be worried. If I was a New Zealand fan, I'd be thinking, France's B team can do that to us at home.
To be fair, like if you look at the stats for this, I don't have it up here. When you take a look at the stats for the game, like, and you say who won this game, you would say New Zealand won this game.
Yeah, that's true. They felt comfortable. They felt comfortable for a lot of that game. Yeah.
Like I think France had to make like 260 tackles.
That is impressive.
New Zealand
though,
made like only had to make like 120 or something like that.
Yeah. Oh, but what does that say about France's efficiency in the red zone though?
They just there's these players are still good.
And what I liked about this French team is they played like New Zealand. They took their opportunities. They played rugby, right? They threw the ball around. Maybe they're thinking we're a younger team, we've got less to prove, but fucking hell, fair play, you know?
I think they could I think maybe France might take a game.
I thought that about England last year. This is why I'm upset, because it already reminds me of the tour of England last year. I don't fucking want England to win a game.
The problem with England is that in those games, England came out hot and then kind of like petered out.
In one of those games, that's very true. In another game, I genuinely believe...
Oh, there's that one game where generally the ref
because it was only 2 games,
them.
right? It was only 2 games. There was one where the ref, I think, lost England the game.
Yeah.
And I think that happened in this game. And I hate to say that, because I don't want to bash refs, and I don't want to sound salty about New Zealand, because I don't want England to win. But I think they should have won one of those games because of the ref. And I think France should have won that game because of the ref. However, what you said is true. New Zealand played better for the majority of the game.
If you look at the stats, I asked anyone like who won this game.
Yeah.
And what was the score? You'd probably put like New Zealand 50-0.
Yeah.
They were just so dominant in every area.
Yeah.
The thing about that saved France was they have the French have awesome defense.
They do.
They can defend for days.
Yeah.
And they're
fit.
smart. They're fit and they're smart with the ball.
Yeah, they are.
So they are efficient with the ball. So with the opportunities they did have, they either capitalized or they did something with it. They put pressure on the All Blacks.
Yeah.
So I think it was for the players that they put out, and you can go on. I know there's a whole controversial thing about like France not signing their best team, and it's insulting, but also the top 14's like the best rugby league in the world, and they only have 5 weeks off in between seasons.
Yeah.
Like it's a month and a week.
Yeah.
And then they're right back at it.
Yeah, we can't pretend that we have until we have a global rugby calendar. That kind of talk is irrelevant to me. France is sending a B team. Fine, their domestic season is literally still happening.
Yeah,
so
they're packing out stadiums. They're paying their guys the most in the world.
Yeah,
like you can't really complain. Sorry, New Zealand.
No, you can't. No, I don't care about that so much. Like there was a lot of they're sending a B team. How insulting. Well,
you should have destroyed them.
Yeah. Then prove it.
You should have put
right?
a beat down.
Yeah,
a big old beat down.
That's why I'd be a bit worried if I was a Kiwi fan, because France have beaten New Zealand before this game. They'd won the last 2 games against them, and those were the best teams that they could put out in both cases for France and New Zealand.
Like New Zealand had this is their 500 test win. They've won 500 international rugby tests.
Yeah.
Holy shit.
We all secretly want New Zealand to fail, though. That's the truth. We do. Let's not lie about it, right? We all secretly wanted France to win that game, not because we're French fans, but because we want to see the day where New Zealand aren't the force that they are, so that when we go down there, we think we've got a chance of winning. And then even when they come up here, we can probably beat them, right? We all want that. The New Zealand, at one point, were the most dominant team, not just in rugby, in sport.
Yeah.
In all of the sports of professional level, they were the most dominant team, right? We kind of just got sick of them winning. That's the truth.
They were the mountain to climb.
They still are.
And they were getting to the point where it made the sport too predictable.
It made the sport boring, because I knew a lot of people who had introduced to rugby when I lived in Japan, when I worked in the US, and even in Canada to a degree, even with my wife. She doesn't like rugby a little bit. She likes rugby, but sometimes she's like, New Zealand playing, I don't want to watch.
Yeah, because you just know they're going to come in and just fucking fuck everyone's day up.
And that is another thing about a rugby fan and a rugby understander. You enjoy watching New Zealand because you understand they're fucking good.
I think New Zealand right now is in the perfect spot because they're still the best. In my eyes, they're still the best team in the world.
Yeah, I agree.
But but teams can beat them now.
Yeah.
If you play a perfect game, you could beat them.
Yeah.
And I like that right now. I like how it's like it's not just because at some points you wouldn't even bother watching.
That for me is exactly why the referee in this tour and the England tour was such a big deal, because we are at the stage where they're beatable, and that they have that extra 5%. I'm putting my tinfoil hat on, that they have the ref in air quotes on their side every now and again irks the fuck out of me, because this is the time where they are taken down half a step and people can beat them, and rugby feels more like a level playing field. So when you see what was, in my eyes, a knock-on given as a try, I'm like, oh, for fuck's sake, you know? Come on. Come on.
Fuck?
And yeah, it happens all the fucking time. But they do get the rub of the green at home basically all the time. So, yeah. But what I'm trying to say is it's not because I hate New Zealand, it's because I want a level playing field in rugby. It would be good for the game if they were refed.
The All Blacks are getting some of that Leinster treatment.
Yeah.
The Leinster.
Well, that's a different story.
I don't know if it's the reffing. Like, I doubt. Like, honestly, like
it's probably not.
The refs aren't corrupt.
No,
they're not.
I'm not saying that.
I don't think the refs have blinders on.
No, I don't.
The Kiwis are just fucking really intelligent rugby players.
They are, absolutely.
Like that's
absolutely.
That's the real thing about it. Like they're just really good at doing what they do.
No, 100%.
And if you say the All Blacks are cheaters, they fucking are.
Every team is a cheater.
But 100% every other team is trying to do the same thing.
Yeah.
They're just not as good as New Zealand.
If you notice when we had the Ireland-South Africa series last summer and there was the big debate, who's the number one team in the world, everyone, when they got really salty, would just turn to, oh, but you guys just cheat a lot. Ireland got called out for their behavior at the ruck.
Yeah.
And it was like, well, maybe that's because everyone does it. They're just getting away with it more.
Yeah, look at any breakdown the Kiwis are in.
Yeah.
There's infringements everywhere.
Yeah.
Guys are laying on top of
Yeah.
it. Guys are fucking hands in the ruck. Guys
Yeah.
are coming in from the side all the time.
Yeah.
They're just fucking good. They're collapsing every
Yeah.
maul. They're early hitting in the
Yeah.
lineouts. Like the guy's not even fully down on the ground and they're already pushing forward. But they'll push it. They'll push the boundaries until the ref stops them. Right? But they play a fast game.
They do.
Right? And that ref, like
That's what I was going to say.
It's a big job for one guy.
I was going to
That's
say
why the
that's
TMO, when the TMO came in,
Yeah.
and there's more eyes on the game,
Yeah.
you all of a sudden seen New Zealand losing more
Yeah.
because they're getting called out on the shit. They can't fuck around
Yeah.
as much as they used to.
That was when we were in Cardiff watching the Champions Cup and the Challenge Cup. We noticed that the amount of TMO interventions in the Champions Cup
Yeah.
was out. It was kind of like, come on, let them play rugby. But then when they actually looked at it, they go, oh no, that was a blatant forward pass. Oh no, that was blatant
Yeah.
ruck fuckery, right?
But don't ever for a second think that the other teams are more pure.
No.
They're all trying to do the
Of
same
course
thing.
they are. They're just not as good at it.
But they suck. They're just not as good.
And do you know what is funny is when it was Joe McCarthy in the Six Nations had a bit of a mare. It was some kind of deliberate off the ball shove, and there was some fuckery at the breakdown. It was one of those games where a couple of Ireland's players really got some big red thumb caught out doing something stupid. And I was thinking, yeah, but 90% of the time they would do exactly that and just do it quicker and no one would have seen it.
Yeah.
Just like every other fucking rugby team,
And
right?
I honestly think Ireland's success
Yeah.
has come from them. The IQ of these rugby players coming up is better. So
Yes.
they're also able to cheat better.
That's right. That's right. Yeah.
So because they're like Ireland's definitely doing some gnarly. When you watch some of their games, they're definitely trying to take an edge wherever they can.
Of course, every team is.
And like even in every sport, like in the last Stanley Cup Finals, Brad Marchand, he scored this goal against the Oilers, and he was basically offside, off the face-off, right? He was already pushing forward. He was already not where he's supposed to be, right?
Yeah.
But fuck, you got to be champions. You got to take every inch.
The lesson is if you do something fast enough, but most people don't care.
Yes,
you can do whatever you want, just do it really fast, and you're good. You know.
Yeah.
In sport, at least.
So I don't know what this game like says about the All Blacks. I think they played pretty well.
Yeah.
They played very All Black-y.
Yeah.
France are just good. The players are good. They come from a good league. They come from a strong, solid league. So these guys are going to be good. Regardless if they're a third team, they're still going to be a pretty decent team. And you're going to push. They're going to push now in this era. They're going to push any team.
I think that's another reason I'm a bit salty is because I'm still waiting for the day where another Northern Hemisphere country definitively goes, we're as good as South Africa, Australia, and New Zealand.
Oh, they got to take a long time for something like that.
France, I think Ireland may have missed their opportunity. They could do it again. They could be like, no, we're definitively the best team. But France are going to be that. France have this juggernaut.
They have to win a World Cup.
France have this feeling. Yeah, you're right.
Because we're tired of them. Like, yes, like during in between the World Cups.
How many World Cups you got though?
Yeah, like beating South Africa or New Zealand.
Yeah.
Like, because like every time Ireland goes to play South Africa, I assume they're going to beat them.
Yeah.
That's how comfortable I am with them.
Yeah.
All Blacks, not so much. But like when it comes to World Cup, like it's anyone's game. Like that's where they really have to shine. If they really want to put themselves up on the pedestal of the Southern Hemisphere teams, you got to win a World Cup.
And I have this feeling that France will be the team to do. I think France will do that before Ireland because right now France have this feeling of inevitability about them. And this game is almost a testament to that because, New Zealand won, but that wasn't, I hate to say it, it wasn't a French A team though, was it?
No, it was like a French C team almost.
Right. And they did that. Like imagine they had Penaud, imagine they had BLBRA, imagine they had Dupont. Like that's a very different story.
If they brought a full strength team, hands down I think the France A team, like the top guys, I would say they're the best in the world right now.
Well, yeah, I might agree because
if France is playing New Zealand in a World Cup, or if France is playing the Springboks in World Cup, I put their I wouldn't say the same thing.
But France beat New Zealand in the World Cup.
Yeah, and Ireland beat South Africa in the World Cup too. Yeah. And they both got fucking beaten by the opposite team.
In the knockouts, yeah.
So it's like they have to do it when it counts.
Yeah. That's we could talk about that all day, but ultimately that's the point, isn't it? Until you win a World Cup, it doesn't matter.
Yeah, because now, when Ireland play New Zealand, I'm worried, but I a feeling, there's a possibility they could win this game. If they step up, they'll win this game.
Yeah.
Right. I have confidence in these players that they're good.
Yeah. No, they are.
So and I don't think there was an era like that ever.
No.
In the last 10 years or
it's true.
last 10 years. Right.
Well, Ireland were not a rugby force even until the last sort of 10 years, really. They weren't really on people's radar in the same way.
So they hit their Ronald Gara, Johnny Sexton era.
Yeah.
So things started building up.
Yeah. Yeah. What's that like? I don't know.
But yeah, I don't know. I think if you're a Kiwi fan, I think you might be. I went on the Reddit to look at the match thread, and there was a very mixed signals from the Kiwi fans.
Yeah.
Some of them were really not happy. Some of them were pretty happy with some of the new guys that came in.
Yeah. We should talk about New Zealand a bit more because it's still not the most settled team and it's still a very good team, right? There's a lot of guys in there who are still finding their international experience, and so I think they actually put in a deep...
I think they only had 3 new caps in this game.
But 3 is a lot. 3 is a lot.
I don't know. This is a country that's just got a solid base for rugby.
Yeah, always will.
Yeah, they're always producing top quality players. I'm never worried about New Zealand.
No, and you know what? We should be grateful as much as
it's
we
like
whine
worrying.
about.
It's like worrying about Canada with hockey players.
Yeah,
like we're always gonna produce.
There's a golden goose somewhere.
Like the
isn't
top
there?
quality fucking players.
Yeah.
Like New Zealand's always gonna produce another Dan Carter.
Yeah.
They're always gonna produce another Richie McCaw. They're
Yeah.
always gonna produce another Artie Savea.
Yeah.
Like those guys, Damien McKenzie, Bowden Barrett. Like these guys, are they're coming. It's an assembly line.
Yeah.
Maybe not Dan Carter and Richie McCaw. I could take that out, but yeah.
I don't know. We'll see.
In other rugby news, Scotland beat the Maori All Blacks.
I was a bit surprised by that.
I thought Scotland should have won that game by more.
Yeah, I did.
I think this one too. They got a little bit unlucky with the ref and the reffing decisions with this one.
Yeah.
I was surprised. Gregor Townsend sounded a little surprised.
He looked like he was surprised he won.
We won.
Yeah. And I was joking when I was saying Wales lost all their Lions. Scotland genuinely have their best players in the Lions, right?
The most unfortunate person on both these teams is 100% George Horn. Fuck, he should be in the Lions tour.
And that is the one argument that bringing Owen Farrell in is annoying.
Well, they brought Ben White in.
But you know what I'm saying? It's like if there was...
They had an opportunity.
If Owen Farrell has taken up a spot...
They had 3 after Thomas Williams. They brought in Ben White.
Yeah.
Right? So they had an opportunity to bring in another scrum half. He's a scrum half.
Right.
Right?
I'm just saying there's a lot of Scottish guys who could have gone on a Lions tour in Owen Farrell's place, actually.
You can make that argument.
But
I just think George Horn's so unlucky. I think he's such a fucking good player.
You like him a lot, though.
Man, he's hungry. I like those hungry, like how Thomas Williams played.
Yeah.
Like how he's just hungry.
Yeah.
I love that.
Yeah.
And you can tell the difference when you got that 9 that's taking opportunities, that's creating opportunities and going for it.
Yeah.
You need teams play better.
Yeah.
And I just think he's an unlucky guy.
Yeah. There's a lot of there's a few Scottish guys, Tom Jordan as well. Like could Darcy Graham I always feel bad for.
Yeah.
Particularly because Duhan van der Merwe isn't having the best Lions tour.
Oh man. I don't think he's gonna make it on test.
No, I don't.
I think he's gotten really I think that the things I've been saying about him for years is really coming to, especially now that he's on an Andy Farrell team, where
you got to be a bit more versatile.
Yeah, like in Scotland, I don't think they expect much from him. They just want him to be big and on the wing, and when he gets the ball, to run it forward. But Andy Farrell, like when you see his wingers play, they put more into the game, and it's just not his style.
It's not, is it?
It's like if they got what's his nice from the All Blacks, Will Jordan. Yeah, like I think if Will Jordan came into an Andy Farrell team, he would be, he would kind of get exposed like that.
It's not.
He's a finisher, right? Duhan van der Merwe, he's an old school wing. He is a finisher.
But if you give him space, even in his own half,
yes, he'll produce, and that's valuable.
Yeah,
right. But
he's more than a finisher.
But you need
much more.
There's a whole game going on.
And
using these wingers as like more than just a winger. Is priceless in my eyes.
Yeah.
So I don't know. I just don't think. Yeah, but
England, Argentina.
What the fuck, Argentina? What the fuck happened to you guys?
I love how Argentina get us excited, and then we think they're going to be the best team ever. I mean, actually, England put in a good performance.
When you look at these guys,
England played well.
Yeah. Curry, Underhill, Spencer, Ford.
Ford is the guy.
Yeah.
Ford is the one I wanted to talk about because he is still one of the best 10s in the world. I hate to say that. I really hate to say that because he is, though. He's a really fucking good 10. He's a really... And you look at that...
It's not... This is not like... Yes, there's some guys missing, but this is not like that far off from an A squad.
For who?
England. It's not that...
No.
A lot of these guys start regularly.
They do. They do.
So it's just like... Asher Poker for George, like these
Atkinson in 12 is a bit unfamiliar. Muir.
Will Muir.
I think Freddie Stewart has had his chance for England, and
Bad
he may
breath
be
Henry Slade.
Yeah. Anyway, but I agree. This is a pretty strong England team. Yeah. But having said that, like the Argentina team that beat the Lions. Where the fuck were you guys?
Yeah, I know, right?
Where the fuck were you guys?
I was surprised. I really thought that Argentina was going to win.
Oh, I thought they were going to smash them. Yeah.
Man, they play better away from home than they play at home. I would like to see their at-home record versus their away from home because I think all their biggest scalps have come at when they were playing away.
There's something about the passion they bring, isn't there? It's like when their back's against the wall, when people write them off, it's like kind of old school Wales. If you had a pop at Wales and were like, you guys are shit, or you fucked with the wrong team here, like Argentina are a bit like that. There's just that passion, like don't fuck with them, don't make them angry because they'll beat you. But if they're just relaxed in their environment, they're just having a little drink by the pool, like they're beatable. They're so fucking beatable, you know?
Because this was kind of, in my eyes, embarrassing.
It was a bit embarrassing, strong, but it's disappointing.
You beat the British and Irish, like they
beat
the
literally the best players,
like in the Northern Hemisphere for sure.
Yeah, it wasn't the best Lions team, but it was still X factor players in every position.
Yes.
Yeah.
Right. These guys are top of the guys that were on that field were the top players on their teams.
Yeah.
In their positions.
Yeah, definitely.
Right. So it's just like beating a super team, and then England come missing a bunch of their guys, and you fucking get mangled.
Argentina have had a warm-up game against the Lions and won. They had the prep time. England just scratch team thrown together. They know each other.
Yeah, and they had this huge game together too. They had this huge game with the Lions together.
Yeah.
So form those bonds, form those
the consistency is maddening, isn't it? Like, because on just last week I was like, Argentina are incredible. They could be one of the best teams in the world.
It keeps rugby snobs from saying Argentina's a good nation.
It does.
Because they can never string along like a dominant run.
No. And we know why. They don't have a professional side.
Like they need to go on, like they could beat anyone, but they've never gone on a run. Ireland have gone on a run.
Yeah.
Wales have gone on a run. England, New Zealand, South Africa.
Yeah, it's everyone else.
France. They've all gone on these 15, 16 games.
Like winning streaks, won some tournaments.
Beating everyone, having their era. Argentina they had that era where they beat everyone, but they also lost to everyone at the same time.
They can never do it 2 weeks in a row, though, can they? They never do it 2 weeks in a row.
They even came third in a World Cup.
Yeah.
This is and still people are saying, they're just not there yet, or they're getting there.
Yeah.
I think what they really do need is they need a run. They need to string together like a consistent amount of games to put them in that upper echelon.
The question is, though, can you do that if you don't have a professional side?
Well, I
mean a run. I mean, can you go on a consistent run? Because contrast that with Fiji, who still haven't gone on a run, but have improved.
Yes.
Actually, they're basically the same as Argentina, aren't they, in these stakes? They have a professional team. It has improved them, but not to the point where they are consistently beating teams.
Yeah, they just need to put that string of wins together. They have to go on a streak. Basically, that's all they're missing is a streak.
They need a streak.
Once a team goes on a streak, that means they're a team.
They're cool now.
They're cool.
Yeah.
And Argentina's just because they are just as good as everyone else.
They are.
Because they've beaten everyone else.
They proved it.
Yeah. So they've even beaten the Lions.
Yeah.
Right? So there's...
These guys are the Quade Cooper of international rugby teams. Like, 1 week, wow, what a fucking guy. The other week, like, what the fuck was that?
Yeah, what are you doing here?
Are you drunk? Like,
Yeah, were you drinking before you came here? Like, what the fuck's going on?
it wasn't
That's
a terrible
perfect
game.
analogy of Argentina.
It's not. It wasn't the worst game ever for them, but to beat the Lions, to beat the All Blacks, to beat South Africa in almost a calendar year, and then to just lose against England's scratched together team is a bit like, what are you doing, guys? At home, as you said as well, which is very important.
I've just, you know what? We're at the same time we're spoiled.
Well, just right now.
Right now, if
how
you're a
much
rugby
have we
fan,
talked
this
about?
is like the golden game. You got the under 20s rugby going.
I just wish Wales could be good during the time of when rugby is good.
You just need
Because I genuinely care less about rugby now in rugby's golden era. It's sad.
this
What
is
can I
where
say?
this is where they really test your faith.
My faith has been tested recently. I need some kind of religious experience.
You know, the Oilers, they went 10 years not even making the playoffs.
I don't care about the fucking Oilers.
They call it the decade of darkness.
I don't care about the
You
fucking
know?
Oilers.
Wednesday, the Brumbies play the British and Irish Lions. I think this game's going to go exactly how the other 3 games went.
No, the Brumbies are... they won't...
Because I think the best Australian team in the Super Rugby season was the Reds.
Yeah.
Right?
The Brumbies and the Reds are consistently the 2 best teams recently.
I just feel like this is going to go the same way. They have a good starting pack.
Yeah.
I don't know. I'm not privy to like if Joe Schmidt has released any players to them to play the British and Irish Lions.
Yeah.
Because I know he did that with the Force.
But not as many as people would have liked, right?
Yeah. So I think it's going to go the same way.
I think Brumbies will lose.
The Brumbies.
I'm trying to compare it to 2013, and I'm thinking it's not relevant. That's 12 years ago.
Another thing on that's happening too, Fiji's going to play Scotland. I think it's going to be a good game.
Yeah, it is.
I'm excited to play in Auckland.
Fiji is a team that genuinely is consistently better now.
Yes, I'm excited to see this. This is going to be a good game. These guys are... Scotland has turned into a baller team.
Yeah,
They're ballers.
They just rock up and play, don't they?
And
yeah.
they just like their attack is like Gregor Townsend's like 20-year experiment with Scotland feels like it's finally coming to fruition. Like it's kind of they can like they're passing the ball, they're offloading, they're doing all sorts of shit like crazy. Like they got good hands.
Yeah.
Like this is gonna be good. These are 2 teams that can ball. I'm really good for that. And then you got Japan, Wales. Dum dum dum. Dum dum dum.
Don't care. We're gonna lose. We're gonna lose. No doubt.
Ireland's gonna play Portugal.
Yeah, Ireland will win.
Yeah.
Ireland will definitely win. I'm just thinking about what Portugal will do. They've shown that they can have a crack at you. I think everyone. I can. Here's the post-match review: Gutsy Ireland overcome Portugal scare. That's going to be the headline.
Early Portugal.
Yes, absolutely.
Early Portugal scare.
Yeah, Gutsy Ireland overcome early Portugal scare. That's the headline.
France and New Zealand are going to play.
Yeah, they are.
They're doing a double header. Did you know that?
What do you mean?
So before the New Zealand-France game, the Black Ferns are going to play the Australian women.
The Australian women, not the French women.
No.
Oh.
Yeah, they're going to play the Australian women. So you get a double header. I like a double header idea.
As a guy who used to go to Judgment Day, not all that's cracked up to be.
I went to that...
we went to a doubleheader in Twickenham.
Yeah, I love double headers.
Yeah.
I went to that that women's 5-nation thing.
Oh, in Vancouver.
In Vancouver, where they all played like it was like 3 games.
Wasn't
back
that
to back.
sevens though?
No, it was 15s.
Okay.
And I think it was 3 games back to back.
That's mental.
It was fucking awesome.
Okay.
I was pumped. Like it was like back to back to back, and I was like, oh, like, you make a day of it.
Yeah.
Right. It's not like this is every weekend.
No.
Right. If it was every weekend, no. But a test match, having a doubleheader as a test match day.
I've always thought that's the way to improve
Take
attendance and spectatorship of women's rugby is just trailer a women's game onto a men's game so that people will go, oh, that was really good. I'm going to go watch the next one.
Yeah, you take your family out.
Yeah.
And you make a day of it.
Yeah.
Right. And I know some of these places. I don't know how it is in New Zealand. I can't remember. But like, yeah, you go and you have like the tailgate party at the beginning, and you just make a day of it. That's what you do that day. It's like a rugby day, and you get to watch 2 games. I personally really like that idea. South Africa is going to play Italy again. Yeah. Italy, South Africa. Fucking Razzie Rasmus was pissed about his team.
Yeah, I would be.
Yeah, Italy came in and rocked up out of nowhere at the end.
I think that is the not surprising thing though. Italy are better.
I think Italy is good enough to give
better.
any. They're good enough to give any team a go. They're not good enough to beat the Springboks.
No.
But they're good enough to play against them.
Yeah.
So
simple as that.
I think you're going to see more of the same.
I'm surprised Rassi doesn't watch. It says to me that Rassi doesn't watch URC.
It's
enough.
I think he's
the team containing
that's a big call.
Like, a team containing a lot of good Benetton players is gonna give you a good game, right? These guys have been playing against South African players week in, week out for the last 3 years, and you're surprised Italy gave you a game. Like, show some respect. These are not a team you underestimate anymore. Having said that, they did batter them.
Yes, they still battered them.
They just didn't defend as well as they probably would have liked.
Yeah. Argentina playing England. I think Argentina are going to pull this one out. Right? They've already had a loss, so now it's time for a win.
Yeah.
So I think Argentina's going to probably slide
in the
past
checkerboard of Argentina
They're
rugby.
going to be angry. They're going to bring in Augustin Crevi back from the grave.
There's some ancient Mayan sphere or stone tablet which predicts when and where Argentina will win. The planets are alignment to Argentina win on this one. Yeah.
Yeah. Canada's going to play Belgium.
Oh, I'm going to that one.
Yeah, we're both going to that game.
Well, I'm not going to the one on the 12th next week.
That's Belgium.
Never mind. I'm going to the one in Spain on the 18th.
You're going to go to Spain. Because Spain are playing the USA next weekend. And USA are looking good.
Well, they just beat Belgium.
Yes.
They beat the mighty Belgium.
And they also had the last November series. They had a very successful series, too, against other teams.
Relatively.
Yeah. So, USA, good for you guys. You guys are doing good rugby things.
They beat Wales right now. No doubt.
And then we got a big game.
Yeah.
The Oz New Zealand 15. That combined.
Oh.
So it's going to be a Lions versus Lions.
The Lions versus the Lions.
This is going to be basically the British and Irish. I think this might be their hardest game.
Do you know, this is the worst thing about this tour. The two games I was most excited for, the Argentina game and that game. Yeah. And I don't actually care as much about the Australia test.
They play, I think the week after, they play a Pacifica team.
Yeah.
But this Oz New Zealand team, this is going to be a test. Man.
Do you know what's going to be? Do you know what would be funny about this? If it was just 90% Kiwis and the Aussies would be fine with it. It's like, beat the living shit out of them so we can have a rest. So they're all fucked up for our game.
I guarantee they're going to try.
Yeah.
Like this team is good. They're going to take this serious.
Of course they are.
They're going to take this Oz New Zealand 15.
Yeah.
They're going to take this game.
This isn't going to be like a Barbarians game. This is going to be a very serious rugby team.
I feel like this is going to be the hardest match. So Andy Farrell for this match, he's got to put out his best team for this.
I want to finish with just a quick overview of people who are definitely playing for the Lions test starting team. Like, is there anyone in there who's like definitely going, or is there anyone who's kind of lost their spot? Because we already talked about, I think Duhan has kind of played himself out of a test spot.
Yeah.
I think the wingers would be James Lowe and Matt Hansen.
I would say Ellis Genge.
Yeah, I think Ellis Genge over Porter is a big call, but I think it's true.
Ellis, Genge, and Porter are going to be the start. Whoever starts.
Aren't they both loose heads? Am I wrong?
Yeah, they're both loose heads.
Oh, I see.
So both of those two definitely 100% on the field.
No, but I'm saying Genge starts.
Yes, I could see Genge starting too.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I can see Genge starting. You could. I honestly, for those two, they're both such good players.
They are.
I wouldn't care who starts and who comes off the bench because bringing either one of them off the bench, that's scary.
It is. I think Joe McCarthy as well has also gone up a lot in my estimations. I didn't think he...
Yeah, Joe McCarthy is definitely a guy that I feel like is going to get on the field. I haven't seen enough with Blair Kinghorn and Hugh Keenan yet, but I thought it was kind of a waste having Kinghorn on the field. I know they wanted him to
No, they need game time. They
need game time, so they just got him on the field.
Yeah.
For some reason, I feel like Matt Hansen is for shoe in.
Oh, well, do you know what he is, though? Like, and not for banter reasons, but because he has been consistently good.
Yeah. Him and James Lowe are going to be on the wings for sure.
Definitely. I think the center partnership, Hugh Jones has been playing really well. I think Hugh Jones and Aki, it might be a 12 and 13 combo I'd go with. I know that's a bit more debatable, but I like those two guys.
Oh, you still have Pierre Schumann too, though, at loose head.
Oh,
he's not a tight head. I'm just looking at him right now.
I mean, as good as he is.
Fuck, that's three good. I think, you know what? Those three are definitely going to make starts. I think most of the props are going to start. Most of the props will get on the game sheet. They're going to cycle them out.
I see what you're saying, right.
Unless they're just like super good. I think that he might like rest a player.
Yeah.
He might cycle through those three because Pierre Schumann's fucking really good. Dan Sheehan's definitely on the sheet. Finn Smith and Russell Smith, I think, are the tens going
what I'm
in.
saying is though, like, you've got to stop being airy fairy. I'm talking about who's fucking starting the test.
Who's starting?
Yeah.
Russell Smith starting at 10.
Yes.
Number 9, James.
Russell Smith.
Sorry, Russell.
Finn Russell.
Finn
Yeah.
Russell. Fuck.
I'm not having a go. I'm just. I want
sorry.
you. Yeah. Yeah.
Okay, I'm gonna go with this. It's gonna go Ellis Genge, Dan Sheehan,
Yeah.
Finley Beam.
Yeah. I agree. 100%.
For locks, it's gonna go.
Has to be Itoje.
Itoje and McCarthy.
Could be. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. His stock has risen. Yeah.
I'm gonna
go
Tyg Byrne, Jack Conan, and maybe Ben. Oh,
You're
Ben
going Jack
Earl?
Morgan. Like, I'm not being biased here. That guy's played fucking rugby.
Oh, Jack Morgan.
Yeah,
Yes.
I put him at 7.
Yes.
100%.
Yes. Jack Morgan at 7.
Yeah.
Tyg Byrne.
You leave out Van der Fleer though, eh?
Yeah.
No, I
fuck,
would.
Jack
I would.
Morgan's
To be honest,
fucking
yeah.
super good.
Yeah, he's proved it, hasn't he?
9, it'll be Mitchell and
It'd be
Gibson.
Mitchell.
Yeah, Alex Mitchell and Gibson Park.
You got to pick one.
Oh, to start,
Yeah.
Gibson Park.
Yeah.
And then 10, Finn Russell. 12, jeez, this is where the 12 thing is.
No, it's Aki for me. I just think he's just powerful. As good as Tui Piloto is, and I would have Tui Piloto on the bench, but it's Aki.
I'm gonna say at 12, Owen Farrell.
Yeah, that's
And
maybe.
no, Farrell will be on the bench or something.
He's definitely utility cover.
Yeah, it's gonna be. I think it's gonna be Bundyaki and Hugh Jones.
Yeah, me too. I do actually.
Matt Hansen on the wing, James Lowe on the wing, and then
I'd have Blair Kinghorn at fullback.
and Blair Kinghorn at fullback.
And this
Or
is nothing
Hugo Keenan.
again.
I feel like those two.
No, but you got to pick one.
I'm still. I
You gotta
don't
pick
know.
one.
I don't know which one.
I'll tell you why I'm picking Blair Kinghorn. Not because I dislike Hugo Keenan. I actually think Hugo Keenan is overall slightly better fullback.
Yeah.
I just think Blair Kinghorn coming out of a top 14 final and having played some red hot rugby recently. He's ready for rugby, you know.
Yeah. I can make an argument. He can also kick too.
Yeah. He's in a better attacking fullback than Hugo Keenan.
He is definitely a better attacking fullback. So yeah, I could see maybe Blair Kinghorn.
Yeah. But that's it.
That's it.
That's all I wanted to know. I wanted
That's
to
the
get your
starting
confirmed
right now.
starters.
But I don't think the scary thing. I don't think Marcus Smith
No, there's no
gets
room
on
for
a
him.
team sheet.
There's no room for a lot of very good players right now.
I don't think Marcus Smith gets on a team sheet.
Because I really like Ben Earl, and I don't think he's in a starting. I don't think he's a starting bench guy. I really like him.
I think Scott Cummings, the Scott Cummings guy, is going to make it on a bench.
He might do.
There's some guys that are going to be a little scary if they're going to make it. Duhan, not. Jack Morton's definitely going to get on there.
I don't think Alex Mitchell. No, he has to, doesn't he? Yeah, he has to.
Oh, Alex Mitchell, and well, unless he really likes Ben White. Ben White is a good scrum half.
He is.
But yeah, I think that's the team's really coming together. What the best team is.
Yeah, it is. Yeah, that's the couple of surprises for me. Is maybe not surprises, but not what I expected. Ellis Genge instead of Porter, and Finley Bealham just being really impressive at tight head. Actually,
yeah, he's become the guy.
Yeah,
now.
Yeah, and that's the thing. That's on the back of Tyke Furlong not playing and being injured, but not playing as well.
Yeah.
Anyway, that's what I think.
I think we talked about everything we were going to talk about.
I think we talked for quite a while, didn't we?
No.
Did we not?
No, we're just at 56 minutes here.
Oh, wow. That felt like 2 hours.
All right, friends.
Wow.
I'm just kidding. We're at an hour and 20 minutes.
Fucking knew it.
Like and subscribe
Yeah.
on Spotify. No. Well, we are on Spotify.
We're on Spotify. You can do that.
You could.
Do
Could
that if you
actually.
want.
Yeah.
Do
On
that.
YouTube, we're everywhere. Like and share the podcast. Thanks for listening.
Okay.
And have a good one, folks.
Right.